Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I want to welcome everyone. First, I want to thank the Hearing Transitions for hosting me, doing this program. I started this program back in, this is the 6th year, so 6 years ago. And basically, this is just part of a lifestyle. I mean, here, those of you, you're probably familiar with the services that are offered here. This is like a holistic spa. And, especially women, I understand, like, it's all about beauty. Beauty within, beauty without, the outside, inside. But really, we have to start on the inside. And, whether we're, regardless of the sex, again, women, I understand there's a lot of pressure to uphold, this beautiful aesthetic. And that's a good thing. As a man, I'm speaking, but that has to start with, what we eat. And this program, again, for this week, we're essentially going to be eating, technically, if you want to get really technical. It's just, it will be, you won't necessarily be chewing, but it's a liquid, this is a liquid diet. And coming off the, basically, this fits into a whole paradigm in terms of, how we eat, and then also, the whole art and science of fasting. Too much in our lives, we eat every day. I mean, if there's one urge, we have urges. We have an urge to breathe, number one. So we breathe. We don't even have to tell ourselves. It's already programmed. So when we go to sleep, we connect them with the breath. So really, each night, that's really, we're fasting each evening when we shut it down. And that's where we essentially that's when we heal. So those of you who have trouble sleeping, basically the body is having trouble healing. So again, when we go to sleep, that's when we go on a true fast. And then of course when we wake up, then that's when really the trouble starts. Because we start bringing in too much of the bad stuff, and and the standard American breakfast is the absolute worst. Even if you're a vegetarian, you're going for the pancakes and the waffles and the cereals and the granolas and all this starch, all of this white, blocky food. And these are the foods this is the most addictive food on the planet, period, is your starchy foods. And this is what we want to sort of curb, because one of the points that I really want to make today is that this fast is really not so much about this week. It's about next week. Okay, so next week, when it's time to go back to your kitchen, where you used to stop in after work, or during work, it's really about that, because that's what's creating the issues in the first place. So really, this fast is again not so much about this fast or this week, but it's about really undoing. When you undo some of the things that we've done to ourselves for a lifetime, our entire lives, we can't undo in a week. This has to be a life process. This is a lifestyle. This is like something we do now, this week, and we program into our lives. You can do once a week. You can practice this thing once a week. You can even really practice this every day, in terms of eliminating breakfast. There's no need for breakfast. We wake up, recharge, re-energize from the sleep. What you want to do is make breakfast your water. So drink a gallon of water. Drink a half gallon of water at least before you bring in anything physical. And then when you start bringing in anything physical, you start with your fruits. See, this will set the tone for the day. We all bathe and do all this for the outside, but what about the inside? We need to bring the water in, the heavy moisture, heavy water. We're water-based beings. You know, so we need to bring in heavy moisture. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing this for the week. We're bringing in water, juice. And I'll get into the regimen in a second. But the point, you know, I just want to drive home the points that, you know, we need to, you know, the reason, you know, we fast in terms of our healing. You know, I spoke about the, you know, essentially a 24-hour cycle. We're programmed to sleep so that we can fast. Okay, and now, you know, in a 24-hour cycle, we can eliminate breakfast. Okay, you know, do your little fruit cup or whatever, but it should really be limited to water and fruits. Anything before 12, water and fruits. Okay, lunch is when you really have your heaviest meal of the day. You know, between lunch, yeah, you can, yeah, you could put your name and your cell phone and your email.
Sure.
Oh, you already got that. Okay.
Anybody else want to take notes?
So we want to, and then we also can practice on a weekly basis. You know, one day a week. Pick a day, Saturday, Sunday, a day you're not working, or even a day you working. Say like, you know what, I'm gonna fast today. I'm gonna drink, you know, I'm gonna get my water, I'm gonna get my fresh juices, and this is what I'm gonna do for the day. And then of course, you know, when I do this program, well, there's also the lunar, or a month. You know, the 28-day. Like women, you know, you always have that 28-day boom cycle. Now, women, of course, let's look at that. Let's talk about that for a moment. You know, since there's mostly women in here, you know, that cycle basically, it should really be a non-event. If it's more than 3 days, then that's an issue, and it's an issue because, well, it's an issue and it's not an issue. It's an issue because the thing is that your body is accumulating too much toxins. You know, to release an egg, it shouldn't be a 3-day, 5-day, you know, bloodshed. Okay, and it should basically be, you know, kind of a non-event. It comes, it goes. But the thing is that this is the body. With the body, because you know, again, heavy starches, heavy, you know, a lot of acid foods. Whether you're eating dairy, meat byproducts, these are all acidic foods. It's creating an acid environment. You know, all the toxins build up in the blood. The blood gets thick. Then that forces the lymph to get clogged up. So boom, you know, it's time to release that egg, and then it's like you got mood swings a couple days before, you got issues during, and then, you know, you 35, 40 fibroids, fibroid tumors, cancerous. You know, again, this is the path. This is the direction you're going, unless you know, if you want to avoid the hysterectomies and all these other kind of fancy surgical techniques that they got out there waiting for you, this is the way. This is really the only way. You have to. There's no like magic pill. There's no magic supplement. This is we need to take control of our diet. We need to begin to get control of the food that we eat, because that's what's creating the issues right there. Of course, there's emotional issues and relationships, jobs, you know, all these things provide stress, which don't help, of course. But it starts with the food. When we can control our food, that can start the foundation for everything else in your life. You know, in terms of like just being at peace. You know, being, you know, just, I mean, hey, we all gonna have our ups and downs, but it's all in our response to it. You know, so essentially, you know, by doing this, you know, we talked about the that 28-day cycle. You know, we can do at least a day or a couple days, and then of course we have every season, which is every 3 months, which is typically what I do in DC, at least every 3 months, and And it's critical because men and women, we're all affected on the 3 month change of season with the spring equinox, spring fall equinox, summer winter solstice. What's happening is that the body naturally goes into a detox mode, man and woman. And you know, when you look at the months, June, September, December, and March, everybody's coming down with stuff. I'm sure at least every 3, 4 out of 5 people that you know is gonna have something. And then of course now what they're gearing people is with you know, because we're going into, you know, like we're into our fall and we move into winter. You know, what that means is that we're getting less sun. It's like we're hibernating indoors. We're eating more. So yeah, we're building up more toxins. So that leads to flu-like symptoms. You know, we creating the flu. It's not no bug out there. We got to get our hand sanitizer or do all this, and you know, some kind of mysterious germ that's gonna float into your body and create. No, it's your lifestyle. And the thing is that so what they got is the flu shot for you, and that's just pouring or injecting, you know, more poison into you when the environment from your lifestyle habits is what's creating the issues in the first place. So here we are, you know, the Mojo Juice Detox. Like I said, I've been doing this would be 6 years, and essentially this fast, the foundation of what we do during this week is the coconut water. Okay, and the coconut water, like when I started doing raw foods as a lifestyle, that was about over 10 years ago now, and I was doing a lot of fasting, and I was fasting with I was trying out with different waters, distilled water, reverse osmosis, spring water, and it really didn't matter. I mean, it really all, well actually it did hit another level with the distilled water, because it's you know, at least spring water has something, but with the distilled water it takes you to, you know, even another level. But really with these waters, what's happening is that you're not, number one, if you're not capturing the spring water itself when it's running, actually moving, then it's and if you're buying these fancy waters, first of all you're overpaying. You know, you're because it's not regulated. They can use any kind of water in there, tap water. They can use up to a certain percentage. So you really don't know what you're getting with these waters. Then it's also been treated, and they don't have to say it legally. They don't have to tell you that. So water by its very nature has to be moved. You know, once it stays stagnant, like in the lake, then you know you got some kind of things happen. Okay, so we putting this into your body. What we're paying for is the design, the prettiness of the bottle. That's what we're paying for. In essence, it's probably be better off with tap water. But that's a whole nother discussion. When we're fasting on these waters, it brings your energy way down. And the reason that is because your body's not even grabbing onto anything that the water's offering. The body is just devote all this energy to detox. And when you're detoxing, then that's gonna cause some stress. Not stress, but it's gonna force you to want to rest. Because again, when we rest, that's when we rejuvenate. So it's gonna want you're not gonna have any energy. And that's what I went through. And then the other thing is that because you're not really getting anything, what would happen is that I would go from I would swing these wild extremes where, okay, I'd fast for a week or 2 weeks or a couple weeks, and then when I break the fast, it's like once I got that first taste of food, you know, it's like the animal took over. You know, and it's like I was trying to make up for all the days that I missed eating. And see, the coconut water really remedies all of those things. In fact, and like I spoke about,